Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a look on this. It's going to be a voiceover, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep on watching. Mwah. Okay, so to first start to prime, I'm going to use the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm and just rubbing that all into my skin. Make sure you don't put too much on like I did. I do that sometimes just because it doesn't have a pump, so it just kind of like flows out. And yeah, I have changed my background from the previous video. I don't know whether I like the other one or this one, but let me know. And then I'm going to use the Soap & Glory Hocus Focus like skin illuminator, so it's just going to add a little bit of glow to the skin. And then I'm going to do some colour correcting with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in green. And what the green concealer will do, it'll just sort of counteract the redness on my face a little bit. So I'm just putting it on all the parts of my face where I'm quite red. And then I'm just going to buff that in with my Real Technique sculpting brush. Next, I'm just going to correct the blue tones under my eyes. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Natural. It has kind of like that pinky, peachy tone to it, which is really good for cancelling out the dark circles underneath your eyes. And then I'm just going to buff that in as well with my Real Techniques sculpting brush. And I'm going to put it all over the eyelids as well, just to cover my veiny lids because they're super veiny. Tea break. So just sipping on my tea and then just dying, you know, went down the wrong hole. Okay, so now I've just zoomed you up a little bit closer. I'm going to be putting on my MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour extended eye base. And you only need a little bit of this, so I'm just putting a little bit on my finger and then spreading that between two eyelids. And then I'm just going to set it with my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder with my Sigma E40, just buffing it all over. Okay, so now for eyeshadows, I'm going to be using the Stila Mind palette. This is an all matte palette, it's like my favourite matte palette ever. I'm going to be using this neutral sort of medium brown as my transition shade, so just using my Sigma E40 and just buffing this into the crease. So just keeping on building the colour because it is quite a light colour, so you just want to keep on building up that shade in the crease. And then I decided to just jump off camera and do my eyebrows quickly, so I wouldn't have to bother with showing you that because I showed you in my last tutorial and I have an eyebrow tutorial, so if you want to see how I do my eyebrows, they're on there. And then I'm just taking this like dusty rosy shade on a, this is like a Zoeva like pointed crease brush, I think. I'll leave it down below anyway what brush it is. And I'm just basically going in a V shape, creating more of like a cat eye shape on the outer edge, buffing it into the crease, like right into the socket. And I just keep on and on and on building up that colour. Just keep going back and forth, and then I'm dragging it underneath my eye as well. So now I'm going to take some of the like first transition shade with my Sigma E40 and just try and blend out the edges as best I can. Try not to go too high, otherwise there'll be no transition from like dark to light, it'll just be like all dark. Just be careful when blending. I just keep going in with that first transition shade just to blend it, and then I'm going back in just to darken it up again with the dusty rose shade, just because from the previous blending session we blended away some of the colour, you know. So I'm just going back in with my like pointed crease brush, and now I'm going to take some of the black. This is the Morphe M506, I believe. Just putting that really close to the lash line first, getting like the initial shape, and I don't want to take it as far out as the dusty rosy shade. I'm just putting that underneath my lash line, taking it a little bit into the crease as well, but not going too high. Still keeping it just in the socket and just buffing it out. I'm barely putting any pressure on here, so I'm not using a heavy hand at all. And then I'm just going back in with my Sigma E40 and some of the dusty rose shade just to buff out the black so there's no harsh lines. And then just to clean up, I'm going to be using a wet like cotton bud, earbud, Q-tip, whatever you want to call it. And there's just some like Garnier makeup remover on there. And I'm just not going right at the corner of my eye, I'm just kind of going below it so you can see that it joins with the lower lash line quite nicely. And then I'm going to be using some Illamasqua Infinity Gel Eyeliner with my Zoeva Winged Liner Brush. And first of all, I'm just starting just in the centre of my lid, just doing a thin line to start off with. And then as I get to the edge, I flip my brush around and just make it like a little bit thicker. Now I don't actually want to do a winged liner, like I don't want it to come to an actual end. I just kind of want it to fade into the black. So I'm just putting like a light bit of pressure. I haven't used any more product. I'm just kind of dusting it to the edge. And then I'm using some of the black on that pointed crease brush again. And just kind of blending the liner and the black together so it just transitions nicely. And then because I lost some of my lid colour, I'm just going to take whatever is left from my concealer and just put it like on the lid from when I cleaned up my eyebrows, you know. And then I'm just highlighting my brow bone with the Revolution highlighter in Golden Lights, and then I just blend that with my Sigma E40. Here I'm using the Vichy Derma Blend foundation. I'm using this with my damp beauty blender. Now this foundation is, I would say it's like more of a matte finish, like matte to natural, but Vichy is a skincare brand, so I think this would be good for more skin types, if not all. I really like this. It lasts a really long time on my skin. It's not too expensive, it's about £16 here, so it's not too bad. And then I'm just going to go in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly, and then I'm just putting that like directly in like the hollows of my eyes. I don't like to use this to highlight because I feel like it's just a little bit too thick. So I'm just putting that underneath the eyes, and then I'm going to highlight the rest of the face with my MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in Light Boost. So just taking on all of the high points of the face, so underneath the eyes, bridge of the nose, forehead and chin. And then I'm going to buff that all in with my Morphe G2 brush. And when I'm buffing out the under eye, I'm making sure I'm really careful to not mess up that lower lash line that I created, because I really want it to be like nice and sharp. So I'm being very careful with how I'm blending it out here, but yeah. You could use a smaller brush. This is quite big for this look, so I probably would have been better using a smaller brush, but YOLO. And then I'm going to be using the Chanel Tan de Soleil something. But yeah, it's a cream bronzer, and I'm just using that on my Real Technique sculpting brush. Just bronzing up the face a little bit with this, just to add some warmth. Then I'm going to be setting my under eyes. I'm applying the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder with my damp beauty blender, just pressing that underneath the eyes, and I put a little bit on my forehead and nose, etc. as well. And I'm just dusting that off. Sorry, that clip is blurry. And then to further bronze, I'm going to be using the Revolution Makeup bronzer in Ultra Bronze, I think. I don't know. but it's this really nice bronzer. I like it. It was like £4 and I really do like it. Then I'm going to be using the Ambient blush from Hourglass in Mood Exposure, which is like this mauve type shade. And then I'm going to be using the Glow Side from my Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow as like my base highlight. Just putting that on all the high points where I highlighted with the light boost on my nose, cheekbones, forehead, you know. And then I'm going to be topping up the highlighter with the Revolution highlighter in Golden Lights. This is what I use to highlight my brow bone. And it's absolutely insanely pigmented. Like, I can't believe it's only £3, something like that. It's something crazy. But yeah, if you haven't tried this, try it. It's gorgeous. And then I'm just contouring my nose a little bit. I have to do this every single day with the Kevyn Sculpting Powder Medium. There's no other contour like it. And then I'm just using the Morphe 9C contour kit just to contour a little bit more on the hollows of my cheeks. Then I'm going to be lining my lips. This is Oak lip pencil by MAC. And I do have a video on how I overline my lips, so if you want to check that out, it is on my channel. And then I'm just going to be using the Maybelline matte lipstick. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like the number 930 though. And it's just a nice nude matte lipstick. It's great. So yeah. And then I just decided to highlight my inner corner as well, just so my brow bone highlight, inner corner highlight, face highlight match. So it all looks a bit more put together. And then I just put on some L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. And that is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys. Mwah.